we got to talk about the latest Heritage Auction results, the roundup, for a couple of reasons. It's not the main one. It was a smaller one. Because I actually bid on 4 items on this, which I want to talk about, my experience on the live proxy. It was a robot proxy. It wasn't the guy with the gavel. It wasn't the main one. So it's like $5, $10. Final warning. Like it's a robotic automated voice, which is a cool system. You basically click to live bid, or you put in your regular standard bid or proxy bid. So they just did their little weekend auction. Ian, did I close the window by accident? You're going to walk me through logging in again. I want to bring this up for 2 reasons. One, I bid on a few things. I bid on the things I thought were interesting in terms of rarity versus price. Because in the past, I've talked about things, not Star Voyager, but games that probably went for less versus how hard to find they were.
So like the Alien 3 here.
I bid on the Alien 3. I was the second highest bidder on the Alien 3. Alien 3 is a very uncommon, borderline rare game on the NES. You do not find it too often. You especially don't find it in the box too often at all. So that went for $180 with the buyer's premium. I think I put my max at like $160, $150. So it went one above me, and I knew that was an NES collector because it was only a 6.5 grade. So I was like, okay, I don't like getting into bidding wars because I'm not going to.
Sure.
I don't get into psychology.
Someone obviously wants it more than you.
They'll bid it up to $400. I ain't paying $400 for a sealed Aliens, but I would have spent $150 because to me, that's probably what it'd be worth even not graded with the grading service put in. So I bid on that, and I was the second highest bidder. I also put in a bid for a couple other goofy ones. That I put in one for, of course, Ian Mafat Conspiracy. I put in a bid on that. I think I was second place on that, but I already own it sealed. So I was like, okay, now I'm getting silly. I just thought I could win it at like $120, but sure. It went above that. I was probably maybe third or fourth highest bidder on that actually. I bid on Mag Max for the hell of it because it's a dumb game no one ever talks about. There, I think I was like third place bidder on that. I put one in for Rocket Ranger because I loathe that game, but it's a weird game, so I put in for that. I think that was at like $100 I put in for. So and then Sesame Street Countdown is a very uncommon game, so I put in for that. So
that's the one with the really good sound chip in it too. Like with
he talks. He walks around. I reviewed that in the book. He walks around and talks and does numbers. Yeah. Oh, you remember that? So that's what I want to talk about. I put in bids on a few. I could have won a couple if I really got on a bidding war. I didn't want to there. But those are the ones that went to collectors, I think. Those are ones like, wow, Sesame Street Countdown's hard to find. Even sealed, I'm going to buy it. You know?
Sure.
They did a homebrew. They did the Nomalos homebrew. That's already 8 years old, believe it or not. It's one of the earlier homebrews with the cat night. Went for $156.
Which one?
Nomalos, remember that? With the cat?
Oh, yeah.
Storming the Castle. I'm not sure we ever played that in a marathon. I'm not sure I have a copy of that. I don't think I do. So that was just interesting to do that. But we'll talk about some other ones. Oh, I also put a bid in on the sealed G.I. Joe 2600 game because I'm a G.I. Joe fanboy. I think I put in my max bid for 180 or 200. It went for 432, which is silly because you can buy them sealed on eBay for between $200 and $300. So I put it under the eBay cost. I was like, okay, it'd be nice to have one of those. But what else happened here? Good old Spider-Man sealed, Ian. Another 9.8 comes up. It went for $26.40. Remember, this is the one that was at $9,000 a couple months ago, less than a couple months ago. And these keep coming up every single auction, and they're coming up in the future. It's great that they're going for only $2,600. They should be going for $600 by now. If people are looking at how many of these are already out there, it's nuts. These are pulled from cases at a 9.8 A++ seal. These are pulled fresh from cases to have this many of them. And you look on upcoming, if you search for Spider-Man 2600, I guarantee you there'll be at least one or two on the next auction coming up. Spider-Man, Wada Spider-Man. Let's see. Bid or buy. Yes, there's two. Ian, there's two 9.8 ones coming up for auction.
Of course.
Excuse me, at least one. There's one coming up in the future. That's going to go off in... No, there are two. I'm sorry. I'm an idiot twice. There are two coming up in the next week. So you can always get a Spider-Man sealed on 2600. It's like a fucking bases loaded cart. The equivalent for a sealed game.
out there.
They're out there. You don't have to worry about it. They're going to keep coming up until one idiot tries to corner the market and buys 100 of them and goes bankrupt, spending $100,000, or they realize, okay, this is a bad idea. There's probably 500 of these out there. So that was an interesting one to me. But what was more interesting, Ian, was the complete in-box non-sealed stuff. because we are crossing a really strange threshold that I was hoping we wouldn't cross, where the sealed value before was not going to affect the complete in box stuff, and now it's starting to pull up the value of a lot of this stuff.
This Contra is just absolutely absurd.
$1,140 for not even the original release, the Rev A, the one I have sitting on my shelf over there. Complete in box, non-sealed for $1,140. It's a 9.0. Yes, that's a good grade for a box, but that is fucking nuts for a dirt common game, and it's not hard to find a box copy of Contra at all.
Right.
That is just, I can't put it nicely, fucking nuts for that. Then the Legend of Zelda went for $456. 6.0 CIB. Rev A, not even want to say the early production ones. So Zelda complete in box used to be all day, what, $60, $80. But now if you're going to go on eBay, it's going to go for hundreds of dollars because now people see this stuff happening. And it's a shame. It's a shame. I don't know if it's concerted effort. I never put collusion past anything at this point when it comes to this stuff. The more I learn about this stuff, I will never put collusion past buy it now prices, because all you need is a fake account to do a buy it now an item. You don't pay yourself. Who cares?
Sure.
And it still shows up as sold and completed. There's no there's no takes backs. There's no do-overs on eBay, the completed listings.
Right.
But for stuff like this, there could be collusion. I don't know. But Legend of Zelda is, again, a dirt common game. It's not really hard to find in the box. So that was a weird one, Ian. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, 7.0 CIB, went for $780. So now when you go on eBay, they're going for hundreds of dollars for just CIBs. I got it on my shelf. So should I start grading all my CIBs for some of these? I think I might have to, because this is insane money to pass up for games that are not super hard to find in the box. Well, yeah, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out's a little bit harder to find in the box than Legend of Zelda and Contra, but it's not like you're not going to go to a convention and not find these.
Right.
Might be hard to find the letter at this point, but by the way, your sealed to fill, only went for $180. I thought about bidding on it for you. Well, I would have got it for $100 for you, but not for $180. Sorry.
That's fair.
9.2 sealed. So, a sealed Tecmo Bowl went for $16.80. I thought that was weird. I know Tecmo Bowl is a heralded game amongst NES fans, but you're really confusing cultural and video game history at the same time. I think that's one of those ones that while it won't be as bad as a Star Voyager investment, I think Tecmo Bowl is going to die out with our generation in terms of people thinking about it. It's just, I know you have people that still do homebrews and you still have torrents. That's getting an older crowd. You're not going to pick up a new generation on Tecmo Bowl at this point, at least in my opinion. So that's just what's going on, Ian, with the CIBs. So I don't know if you have a lot of these CIBs at the Lunas, but you're going to have to start pulling from the shelves and not sell them for what you thought you could sell.
Yeah.
At least for these marquee titles. Maybe even like some of the Mega Mans will come up. I should search for the Mega Mans. Now I'm curious about the Mega Mans because I have a Mega Man 1 in the box. Would that go for a weird price, I wonder, on the NES? What do you think? Is it too weird? Are you surprised it happened this quickly or at all for some of this?
I mean, yeah, it's all very strange to me. I mean, I know I've sold probably countless copies of Contra in box, probably not at 9.0, and I haven't seen one in a while. But yeah, and I mean, even at its most popular, maybe 100, to see it go for 1,000 something, it's wild. But
let's see, 5.0, a 5.0 Mega Man. The Dr. Wright, the early version, sealed, they're going for like $500. Not sealed. So the prices went up on that because that used to be like between I think $150 and $200 for Mega Man in the box, for complete in box. So the later ones aren't as much. Okay, so I think this is going to happen with the marquee titles. It's already happened with like the early black box games. If you get the sticker seal for a lot of them, they've gone up in value to a couple $100 even for a beat up one. But I guess for some of these marquee titles, like again Contra, I guess people want Mike Tyson's Punch-Out for the weird crossover one we spoke about. Legend of Zelda is a shocker just because how many of those are out there.
Yeah, that's crazy.
They produced Legend of Zelda for years and years. I mean, and Zelda 2. They produced that for more, but Legend of Zelda came out in '87, so they probably produced that game for like 4 years before they stopped producing that. No, it's shocking to see a complete in box Contra game that for years and years and years be $60 to $70 maybe, now go for 13 to 15 times the value in less than a year. It just shoots up. That's not sustainable. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't abide with any laws of supply and demand at all. It's just as wacky as the Spider-Man 2600 to me.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
Because now, how many people are going to look at their shelf and be, oh my God, I have a Contra. Almost every major NES collector probably has a Contra in the box out there. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people that collect the subset Konami games, or even just the Contra,
the silver boxes or whatever.
Yeah, I think I used to have an extra Contra in the box. I'm trying to remember my extra box copies of it, but I've had some of those silver Konami ones because they produce so many of those. So you think, should I get mine graded and just throw it up just for the hell of it? The San Diego collection is coming. I'm going to do the San Diego collection at one point. The money pull is too strong at this point.
Yeah.
Hey, it's a bad year. We've all lost money this year with COVID. I've lost a pretty penny from COVID. So whatever I can do to make up for it, I'll be on board for that.